If you've been overthinking how to start your podcast, the equipment, the hosting, the tech, breathe. You don't need any of that. I'm about to show you how to launch your podcast on Substack in under 10 minutes, completely free. Yes, you heard that right. You can create, host, and share your podcast all in one place without paying for software, juggling platforms, or dealing with complicated distribution channels. Let's dive in, shall we? Hey there, I'm Jill Hart, the Coach's Alchemist, and I help spiritual entrepreneurs and coaches amplify their voice, monetize their mission, and get visible, leveraging podcasting and Substack and Skool communities. Today, I'm going to walk you through exactly how to set up your podcast on Substack, step by step, so you can start sharing your message with the world right away. All right, let's jump into my screen so you can follow along. Here we go. Substack publication in it, and you want to be on your dashboard. From your dashboard, you want to click on Settings. And then on Settings, you want to click on all the way down till you find Podcasts. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Community chat, podcasts. And then all you do is you click add. And then you can create a new section for your podcast, which I think we're going to do. And you just click that, and then you click continue. And then you can upload some artwork, which needs to be 256 pixels wide. Usually if it's square, it will be better. And if you have a JPEG, it will work good too. Just use your artwork that you want to have representing your podcast as it's distributed out to other platforms like Apple and Spotify. Okay, so the title section should be the name. Sorry about that. Should be the name of your podcast. And then the description should talk about, what is your podcast about? Some cool niche. And if you're struggling with that, I will put a link in the description to a handy workbook that I've created that will help you figure out what niche you should be in, what you should focus on in order to actually attract clients with your podcast, and to set your podcast up on Substack. So that link, you'll find that link in the description below. So put your cool niche in there, what you're helping people with, what problems you solve. Really, you want to have keywords where your ideal clients, when they're searching for solutions to the problem that you solve with your podcast, they can find you. And you might keep that in mind when you're naming your podcast as well. And then you can put your email address in there, or your name in there, so that when they get your emails, they will know who it's from. And then you can set this up so that this section, the thing with sections on Substack is that people can subscribe to just the section, or they can subscribe to your whole newsletter, which will include all the sections that you post in. So I like to leave it all new subscribers by default, and if they don't want to be in this section, they can opt out of it at a later date. And so you just create the section, and then you're going to create a new podcast. If you have an existing podcast, you can find the RSS feed from that podcast, and you just put it in here, and then it will suck everything off of your existing platform, like Buzzsprout or Captivate or wherever you're currently hosting your podcast, over to Substack, and then you can just start putting the information in the new podcasts up as you're going along. So we're going to do the create a new podcast so that you can see what it is. And so you want to name this section, whatever your name of your podcast is going to be. You want to add your podcast artwork, and this is the piece that will go out to all of the different podcast distribution centers. And so you want to make sure it's a square image, 1400 pixels wide by 1400 pixels, because that would make a square for you. Pick a clear title, and then also this is where that description will come through. Your byline. And so if you have a title, you might want to put your title on there with your byline, like I would put the Coach's Alchemist on here. And then you want to pick your primary categories so that you can this is to get found in Substack. And then you just click create a podcast, and then you'll be ready to actually start creating podcasts. And the way that you actually upload a podcast is you go over here to podcasts, and then we're still in settings, sorry. You want to go over here to podcasts, and then you're going to create a new episode, and then you can upload the audio portion of your podcast right here, and it will go right in there. And then you put a good title and a good subtitle, and then you write some content around what your podcast episode is like. Be sure to have calls to action in there. And then if you are, if whoever you're doing the podcast interview with is also on the podcast or on Substack, you just click this little button and you search for their name or their email, and then they'll get notified that you're posting this here, and they can approve it to get sent out to their audience on Substack as well. It's a really great way to generate expansion of your audience using other people's audiences. They're your guests, so their audience wants to hear from them, and it's just a super easy way to make all this happen at one time. So you want to make sure that your podcast goes out to everyone, if that's what it's for. You can also make it so that your podcast only goes out to paid subscribers. It could be, you could have like a podcast that's only maybe 10 or 15 episodes, and it's specific to accomplishing some larger goal or solve some problem for them. It could be a lead magnet even. And you can have more than one podcast on Substack. So you want to click where your post belongs, which section it belongs in. And for me, the U World Order Showcase is my podcast. So I want to do that. And then you click save. You want to put some tags. Tags create different pages attached to your Substack. So you want to use them kind of like categories so that people can, when they're searching for things, your stuff will come up, but it will come up as a whole page of different Substack episodes or podcast episodes that they can click on. And then you can do your test mail. This is the audio RSS feed. You want to have this turned on so that it automatically goes out to Apple and Spotify and all the places. This is your social preview and SEO options. Once you put your podcast in there and you have some artwork to go with it, I always encourage people to have an image that goes with your podcast so that it shows up as a picture in there. And then you can put your metadata for your episode. Like I like to put the episode number in and the season I'm in, and I also upload, well, it's going to be a full episode because I upload the whole episode, but I also upload the video portion of it. And then you just click done, and then you put all your stuff in, and then this will turn into black, so you can push it and then just make sure that it's going out to the audience that you want it to go out to. And you can set up a date and time that you want the podcast to go out, You can either have it go out right away or you can set it up to go out at a later date. And that is all there is to creating a podcast on Substack and uploading your first episode. Substack handles the hosting, distribution, and even emailing your episode to your subscribers automatically. It's podcasting made so simple. What makes Substack different is how it builds a real connection. Every episode you publish can double as a written post, meaning your audience can either listen or read your message, and Substack will create a transcript for you. It's personal, searchable, and shareable. And the best part? You own your audience. No algorithms, no paywalls, just relationships. A few quick tips before you go live. Keep your intros short. Get to the heart of the message fast. And stay consistent. Substack rewards creators who post regularly, use notes to connect, engage with other creators, and your audience to grow faster. And when you're ready, turn on paid subscriptions so you can start getting paid for your podcast through exclusive content or behind the scenes access. If you're ready to amplify your voice, monetize your mission, and get visible through podcasting and Substack, come join us inside the U World Order community over on Skool. We'll make sure we put that link in the description as well. It's where conscious coaches and spiritual entrepreneurs come together to collaborate, learn, and grow. Your message matters, and Substack is the perfect place to share it.